Doing something a bit different for your weekly update. This is your weekly update, probably your last weekly update. So I decided just to do a little video, and I had a few other things I wanted to mention. I'm here in my office, also known as my front porch, my house in Stephenville, and it's a lovely day here. Okay, so before I talk about the term project, we're almost near the end, thank goodness. The only other evaluation other than that is term test 3, which is available November the 30th to December the 1st. So that's actually upcoming on Sunday from 12 noon until Monday. Similar to the other tests, I think it's just multiple choice, formatted the same. There is a review there in the review folder telling you what chapters and that it's on. So the term project, that's the only thing left other than the term project. So for all intents and purposes, you can actually be done this weekend. If you get everything submitted, you could have this course done. You should be working on the presentations. One group's completely finished, and I've got some presentations. There's 2 posted. The thing is with the presentation, you got a couple options. You can kind of do it, present as if it's a part of your training plan, or just do it as a summary. I would just do it as a summary. It's another example of where you do not need to be writing new things. You could, like, maybe look for some different graphics. If you had good graphics in your, trying to figure this out now because it's working opposite. If you had good graphics in what you've done so far, you could just use them, right? But what's been done so far, students have kind of found some different graphics. So yeah, so just give a summary, look at the requirements, ensure you have the right number of slides. The expectation is both members do the narration. It can be done. I don't know how to do it, but it can be done for 2 people to narrate on it. The intention is never with this project, I would have said it at the beginning, for students to, you do this part, I do this part. I think you're really missing the continuity of it when you do that. You want like uniform, the same documents, the same font, the same presentation. I've been getting lots of feedback, and I feel like sometimes, oh my goodness, it's all negative. And if that's how you perceived it, I didn't mean it that way. I just think feedback is that, right? The downside or the upside or whatever it is, what it is, a lot of people don't take the feedback, right? So it's really important to have been reading what I'm saying and then try to improve. The goal was really just to see improvements as you were going, and why the learning was really in like understand the content and what needs to go into it. It was also really important, and I emphasized it a lot, professional documents, good writing, good organization. I mean, these are like life skills. Like at this point, you're in your 2nd year of a college program. There is an expectation to be able to put a document together professionally. We don't all have good documentation skills. That's why, maybe there's someone in your group who may, and then that person do it. That's the upside of doing group work. But it was really an important part of the project is be able to understand what needs to go into a professional document of any type, really. So like the content, understanding that is good, but it was just important to be able to put it all together professionally. So that's where a lot of my feedback was. But overall, almost done. So your presentation, put it in your folder as you've been doing all along. Post it in the discussions forum for classmates to see. I do think it's important to look at some of the others because it must feel very isolating when you're here working on your own versus if we were in a classroom, we'd be talking about it or someone might be sharing with you their ideas about it. That's why it was always really important, like to, ask me questions, to send stuff if you want me to review it, right? Instead of just kind of going with it on your own. So once the presentation is done, then the final part, if you've done a really good job up to this point and your documents are all good, you're looking at probably 5 minutes work to save it as PDFs, but that's probably not the case. So what you need to do, there's 3 documents for the final part. So it's really parts 1 to 6, the training plan and how it all came together. And then there's your participants manual and your instructor's manual. So those are 2 very separate documents. And if you think about the big picture of what we're doing here, you're creating a training plan. So this is how it all came together. So now the training is ready to start. So the instructor is going to get their manual. And if you were taking any training yourself, you sit at your place, desk, whatever, and there is your training plan, which is going to outline it as well. Okay, so that's really your final product, if you want to call it that, right? I've seen some really good work. I mean, I say to students, this is a nice project that you can package together, even print and bind if it's really, really good, as an example of work that you've done. Okay, that's that. So that's the project. We're getting towards the end, thank goodness. I feel I don't grade really hard, even though I might have all this negative stuff and you still get a good mark. I appreciate the, what goes into this, what goes into creating this as well. So everyone's going to pass even at this point if someone does nothing else. Every group as of right now is going to pass. So the other thing I want to mention here is work placements, not related to this course. As you know, if you're a student in any of our 2-3-year programs, you have to do a 6-week work placement after your second year. Okay? So for many of the students, if you're on stream with your 2 years and you're getting all your courses completed and you're going to be done at the end of the semester, you will be doing a work placement in the spring. You will be assigned an instructor in January to help you with this process. Okay? It won't be me because I'm kind of overseeing it all, but any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. Some of you have Vince. Vince might have already reached out to you. He has a lot of students, so he's trying to get ahead of the game. But it will start in January. You will be assigned an instructor who will assist you. Okay, the legwork is really on you to find a placement, but there is an instructor to assist you and walk you through the process and help you with any documentation if it's required. HN2250 is a fairly new course in our program. Anyone who started in the fall of 23 or later, this course will be in your 5th semester. Okay, I'm teaching it to all students, so if you're taking it, you're going to have me. It's just a 2-hour week. It's really a preparation course for your work placement and for work, for life in general. It includes a resume, so get your head around doing a brand new resume for this purpose. You probably already did one in your communications course, probably not really applicable for what you want now. Definitely would need to be tweaked. Your main selling point, your new resume, is going to be your recent education. So you will need that resume for your work placement purpose, and you will need it as a requirement for my course. So some of you will be doing HN2250 and working with an instructor and doing a placement in the spring. Some of you will have to do HN2250 because it falls in your this particular semester, but are probably not going to be completed. So you will just do your work placement later, and you will be assigned an instructor at some point later in time. But everybody does HN2250 in this semester. The only other thing I'm going to say, not related to this course, but I'm going to say it here anyway. I say it whenever I get an audience. Hopefully I will have an audience and someone will watch this, is we have a really good affiliation agreement with MUN for our transfer of our 2-year program. Probably right now you're just thinking, I just want to get this over with. I don't want to do any more schooling, but it's well worth the bang for the buck. You will get your 2 years with us, will be your first 2 years. So you only have to do 2 years with MUN to get the degree. The upside of this is you will have a Bachelor of Business Administration from MUN, and you will still have a 2-year diploma from the college. So you still get both diplomas. Okay, I did that. I did the course here 20 odd years ago, and then I went on to finish my degree, not here at a different university in Nova Scotia. And it's all the same. Some of the best students coming out of MUN, they'll tell you themselves in Corner Brook, is our students. Plus you have the work placement, which you wouldn't normally get with just a 4-year degree. Anyway, that's an option. Leave it in the back of your head. Like I said, we have such a great agreement. If anyone did university before, maybe you even have credits before you can apply. You may not need 2 years. You can do a part-time. It's all online. It's actually through the Grenfell campus of MUN, but your parchment is still Memorial University BBA. Okay, I think that's it. Reach out if any questions, and like I said, you could all be done Monday if you get everything in on time and get your test done. That's the upside of this course. I'm teaching HN1400, Occupational Health and Safety in the Winter. That's the only HR course I'm teaching. Great course. If you can get a copy of the textbook, it doesn't have to be the most recent one. I think the most recent may only be an ebook, but if you can get your hands on a previous paper copy, that's fine too. Thought I had it somewhere close by. Just look it up on the book list on the college. You'll find it. Any version of it is fine. It is a really good course. It doesn't have a big project like this, but it has a nice little project. Okay, that's it. Reach out if any questions, and best of luck to everybody in their exams. And like I said, if you have any work placement issues, reach out to me. Some students may be wondering about prior learning and recognition, getting credit for it without doing it. The only way you can do that is if you're currently working in your area of study. So if you're currently working in an HR job now and you're just doing the diploma for whatever reason, whether it's career advancement or whatever, you probably don't have to do it. But reach out to me and I can kind of, talk you through that and see if you think that might be an option for you. If you can apply your work placement, you can also apply our SD2200, but that's a conversation you would need to have with me. Okay, reach out anybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.